is so active that it is difficult to match up with her energy level. I try really hard, but it becomes very difficult. So let me read out a brief bio sketch of hers, though she supersedes all this and she's just past all this, whatever I am reading. So she's currently professor at NITMA and IT Bhopal. She's graduate in electrical engineering with master's degree in power electronics from IIT Kanpur and has a PhD from IIT Delhi. She has teaching and research experience of 25 years and has nearly 70 publications to her credit, including a book, Performance Evaluation of Electric Supply Utilities in India. She has also been a consultant for involving a possible common South Asian electricity market. She has done various consultancies for distribution companies in India. Her areas of research interest include power sector reforms and restructuring and evolving methodologies for regulatory and policy designs. 75. Let me mute the mic first. For network industries, including water and telecommunications. She has served at various important positions in Mallet as well, such as Chairman Career Development Cell and Professor in Charge Student Activities. Trapta ma'am, we welcome you over here in this session, and I am sure that participants will get hugely benefited by your lecture. So over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Priyanka, for such a nice introduction. I hope I am able to match all the expectations and energy level. Thank you very much. So, good morning, all the participants. Welcome to the second day of the workshop of IoT, organized with the help of Atal Academy, AICT. I hope you enjoyed the very first day, and today I am going to give you a different glimpses of the new era which is emerging, which is known as a digitalization. So, as you can see, that the topic of my talk is digitalization, new approach in the electricity sector. So, what actually we mean by digital? Digital means digital technology which we are using every day now, which actually permeate modern life, affecting everything from the way we work and travel to the way we live and play. Digitalizations hold good and great promise to help to improve our system in terms of safety, productivity, efficiency, and sustainability, especially in the electricity sector or energy sector worldwide. But of course, it raises many issues like security, privacy, and economic disruption. And basically, the security, which is the main concern, we have day after tomorrow one very good speaker from US who is going to talk about cyber security. So, what basically is digitalization? So, this digitalization basically describes the growing application of ICT, information and communication technology across the economy, including energy sector. So basically, there are three fundamental elements which makes the digital world. One is data, another is analytics, and third is connectivity. So as these three pillars, which are fundamental elements, data and analytics, data means digital information, analytics means how we are going to use this data for a useful purpose. So both this data and analytics, today in the afternoon session, there is one expert who is going to talk about data and analytics, which is the very fundamental element of digitalization. So don't miss that. He is Dr. Mudit Kulshresht. Third element of this digitalization is connectivity. Connectivity means what we mean by connectivity. It is exchange of data between human and devices and machines, including machine to machine connectivity through digital communication network. So we have done a lot in terms of all these three pillars, which are the basic fundamental pillars of digitalization. And as you have seen that very first element is data. So we have seen that increasing volume of data. This is because of the declining cost of sensors and data storage. The second pillar is analytics. So we know that with the help of AI, various computing capability. We are doing a lot of progress in the data analytics. Third pillar is connectivity. We are knowing that we are connected world, and this way we are connected. That we are doing this workshop in internet platform. This is a sheer example of greater connectivity, and this greater connectivity is now faster and cheaper because of the data transmission. I will show you all this with the help of very good figures so that you can understand. So if you see in the figure, this is global internet traffic. So you can see that in 1987, its share of the global internet traffic was only 2 TB. TB is a terabyte, 10 to the power 12. And you can see gradually how it has increased in the 10 years span. In 1997, it becomes 60 PB. 60 PB, petabyte, 10 to the power. I have given this figure 15. And in 2007, after 10 years, it becomes 54 EB. And now you can see that it in 2017, after another 10 years, it becomes 1.1 GB, zettabyte. So you can see that how in the 10-year span we have done a tremendous progress as far as global internet traffic is concerned. So this gave us a key message that the world is witnessing an explosion in data with internet traffic, and this is expected to enter more in future. If we see the global trend and connectivity, which is the another third pillar in the digitalization, you can see because earlier main issue everywhere in the world is access of electricity. So it is always good to compare the electricity access with the internet access. So now we can say that half of the population of the world has the internet accessibility. So the electricity and internet are compared from the year 2007 to 17. You can see the graph. The internet accessibility is increasing in electricity, which is almost constant. So, in the second half portion shows the mobile band connectivity. So you can see that the mobile band connectivity again in the same time span of 2007 to 17. And this shows that the connectivity is increasing as far as mobile broadband is concerned, is increasing rapidly in the developing world, in which India and China is a part of. So it shows that connectivity is increasing. As I mentioned, that half of the population in the world has the internet access, but if you talk in terms of mobile activity, I think it is more than the population of the world. So in this way, we are doing a lot of progress, but it is very important to see that how the capitalization is taking place of this digitalization technology. So I have compared the largest company in the market capitalization from 2002 to 2017. So basically, if you see that the blue figure is the energy industry, because earlier the energy industry is the most capitalist industry. And if you see in 2002, then the two very big companies are belonging to energy. And the yellow figure, which shows the companies of the digital, is only one. But if you see in 2017, then all of the major companies in the market are holding based on internet or digital. So when you talk about Apple or when you talk about Amazon or Facebook or Microsoft, all are digital companies. So the key message from this figure is very clear that digital technology companies have a good global leaders by market capitalization through energy companies. All those energy companies still leads in revenues, but the future belongs to companies which are using digital platform or digital technology. So now let us come back again to our sector, electricity sector. This current energy system was designed 100 years ago, and this has been incrementally modified. So we all know that we were earlier having vertical integrated structure. We have done re-regulation, we have done restructuring everywhere in the world, and in this way we have done a different approach in the electricity sector to make it more competent, make it more efficient. But when we really want to have more weightage, more importance on efficiency and resilience, then we need to move further. And what is this further in electricity sector? The further is that industry has to adopt the new challenges, because the major challenge in the world nowadays is that we want energy security as well as we want to care about the environment. These are the two major issues in the world, and both these challenges of sustainability and energy, of course, environmental, can be taken care by the new way of reforms, which is digitalization. So, if we industry, we electrical industry, we want to make the challenge, meet the challenges of sustainability, affordability, and reliable, we have to move further for modification of our present models. So the digital grid or digitalization of electricity, I will include here the gas and water also, because electricity, gas and water, commonly known as a network industry, they are going to use the advanced technology of digitalization in a bigger way in future, because this digitalization offers a two-way communication between the utility and the network, including customers, and this enables insights or through automation and control of the operation, and thus empowers the utility to improve reliability, availability, and efficiency of the system. So just with this same thing, I want to show with the help of this transparency or this figure, which shows the traditional structure of electricity sector. So if you see that still most of the world is countries are still using fossil fuel as their main primary fuel. Like in India, we still have 60% of installed capacity based on fossil fuel. So if you see the traditional structure of the electricity, we are based on fossil fuel, and this directly we are connected through electricity in terms of fuel to the transport sector, to the buildings, and to the industry. But when electricity production comes in terms of power generations, then again we are connected to all this transport, building, and industry. But the future reforms, which in the form of data, we can apply our data analytics to every segment of this chain. So we can apply the data analytics to our fossil fuel plants. We can apply data analytics to our generation, distribution, and transmission. We can apply data to our transport, because majority I will discuss in uh, further that how we are going towards the EV, and we are using electricity again for the transport purpose, for building, smart building, and industry, which we are emphasizing industry 4.0. 4.0 means we are doing digitalization, complete digitalization of the industry. So key message from this figure is that the data and analytics can improve the performance and thus help us to reduce the cost, which is the basic motto of any industry, or which is the most basic requirement of the consumer, that finally we should be having a cost saving. And with the connectivity, by fully changing the structure in terms of new data and digitalization, we can improve all this. So, how this digitalization is reshaping the electricity sector? This is clear from this diagram, although looks quite complicated. Earlier, we used to say that the most complicated network in the world is electricity, but now it is internet. So, of course, it is making things more complicated, but more controllable as well. So you can see that digitalization is reshaping the electricity sector in every segment, which I have discussed in the earlier transparency also, that we are changing our generation, distribution, we are changing the way we are consuming electricity in the home. We want to make our home a smart home. We are changing our business in terms of Industry 4.0, and we are changing our everything, transport in terms of electric vehicles. So, all this digitization is everywhere in the chain and it is going to change. So, the key message from this figure is that connectivity combined with electrification and decentralizations holds the potential to create a highly interconnected system, transforming the way electricity is supplied and consumed. It is going to change everything. The way we are consuming, way we are producing, way we are using electricity in future. So when we see that this thing is changing and the game is changing, and who is the main trend in the change in this game? The main trend in the change in the game are electrification, decentralization, and digitalization. How I will show this with the help of one diagram further, that electrification means we are changing all the sector, generation, distribution, and transmission, but we are also changing our transport and heating in the form of electrification. Decentralization is again a very common term, and this is possible. And this has done a lot of progress because of the distributed energy resources and distributed storage, generation, demand flexibility, and energy efficiency. And digitalization, which is the key topic of today's talk, is there in everywhere, in the grid, in the smart metering, in the smart sensor, automation, digital network, and everything. And this is also changing with the advent of IoT, Internet of Things. And the way we are consuming electricity, that is also changing. And these three main trends, electrification, decentralization, and digitalization, are shown in this transparency to make it more clear. So when we see the electrification, which is changing, because this is very critical, because we are concerned about the environment. And long term, we really want to have a carbon goal. And that's why we can say that electrification is changing and we are changing to take care about our environment. So key technology which are responsible for the change in electrifications are electric vehicles, vehicle to grid or vehicle to home connection, smart charging, heating, smart pumping, smart heating, everything. When we talk about decentralization, this gives more freedom to the consumer and consumer become prosumer. So this makes customers active element in the system. And this is changing with the help of key technologies like energy efficiency, more and more penetration of renewable energy, especially in India, solar, PV, distributed storage, microgrids, and demand response. Yesterday, you have seen in the Professor Ranjan Kumar, he has developed such a nice 10 villages connections and providing electricity with the help of renewable energy. And the fascinating solar tree, of course. And the third pillar of the change in the game is digitalization. So this allows open and real-time automated communication and operation of the system. And this is possible because of the key technology in the network technology like smart metering with the help of a smart sensor, remote control, automation of everything. And of course, this all can be optimized and use aggregation platforms of smart appliances. So the way we are using is also changing with the help of digitalization. So before going deep into further in digitalization, I would like to love to cover with the importance of electricity, the way we are consuming and way we are hoping to consume electricity in future. This is the transparency which shows the growth in the energy consumption in MDCs and LDC. MDCs are middle developed countries and LDC are lower developing countries. And it's up to you where do you want to place India. I think it comes under MDC or in between MDC and LDC. So if you see the present consumption pattern, the world is consuming around 400 QBTU. The share from the MDC is around 270 QBTU and the share from LDC is 130. But IEA, International Energy Association, has done projection what will be the pattern of consumption, growth in energy consumption by 2050. So by 2050, they are predicting that the world is going to consume around 800 QBTU. The share of MDC is around 320 and share of LDC is 480 QBTU. So this is very interesting that you can see that the major chunk of the energy consumption is going to come from the lower developing country. And it is a very common phrase that India and China both are energy hungry countries. So most of the energy growth in future is predicted by LDC because actually LDC has a lot of potential for the development and the people there are developing, so they are buying more cars, they are having computers, they are going to consume more and more energy through AC. If they become rich, they will buy AC. So most of the consumption is going to come up by LDCs in future. That's why Indian electricity sector is very, very important. And every company in the world is eyeing how we are doing, how we are going to do. So they are also very keen to understand our electricity sector because the future of energy consumption is us. So where do we stand? We are number 2 in the world as far as population is concerned after China. But as per the prediction, we will soon supersede China as far as population is concerned. We are doing very well as far as economic front. Don't talk about this COVID way the things are growing is not good. But if everything goes as usual, business as usual in future, after this pandemic overcome, then we are aiming to have 8 to 10% of economic growth in next 20 years. And this is very essential because we need to eliminate poverty, we need to provide minimum living standard to our people. And we can very proudly say that we are number 3rd in the world as far as installed capacity is concerned, with 370 gigawatt present installed capacity. As far as renewable energy is concerned, we are number 4th in the world. Of course, in the installed capacity, if you talk, first is US, second is China, and third one is India. And the very interesting thing which has happened in the Indian electricity sector that we are having major share of our production or installed capacity is coming through private participation. 46% of 370 gigawatt is coming through private player, which is a great achievement by government of India. Another thing which is very close to my heart is renewable, how the renewable is doing. And as per the Paris commitment, government of India has done a commitment to have 175 gigawatt by 2022. So this is the first time India has done a commitment for such a huge addition of renewable energy. And of course, this is first time net capacity increase of renewable power exceeded that of conventional power. So that is very important to understand. And of course, this is also the world largest renewable energy expansion plan, which we have set as a target in India. And we have achieved around 70% of this target of renewable addition. And we are changing. We are changing. Our industry is changing. Indian sector is changing. And this change is possible after the Electricity Act 2003. Now we are calling this as the Electricity Amendment Act 2015 also, because lot of amendment took place in Electricity Act 2003. But that Electricity Act has a main structure which has changed our electricity sector totally, because earlier we were
சொன்னா ஏழு ரூபாய் அப்புறம் நான் எடுத்து கொடுத்தேன் அதுக்கு என்னப்பா அது நான் கேட்கல
please mute your mic, please.
I muted them all, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Sometimes somebody. Oh, no issue. So this way, I really don't want to present my presentation that only I am the only one who is speaking. I really want people to communicate, but I don't know how this is possible. But in fact, if you think that you want to interrupt me, you want to ask anything, please feel free. If we made a system, then I think if somebody asks, then I will be able to reply. So industry structure, as I told you, is changing after 2003 Act, and we are going towards making our electricity sector based on market mechanism. So we are changing everywhere. We are changing in generation. We are changing in the way we are transmitting electricity, the way we are trading electricity. So trader has been introduced. Fortunately, we have 3 power exchange which are working in India. One is government owned, 2 is private power exchange. So everything is changed because of the Electricity Act 2003. I'll not go into the detail how the sector has changed, but I will just conclude that we are based on market mechanism principle, and we have done a lot of reforms in our electricity sector by having the Electricity Act 2003. And there are more to be done in future in terms of retail electricity market. So if we see how we are doing, so if you see the present structure and what we are going towards the future power system, so you can see that the present power system is heavily relying on fossil fuel. Generation follows load and limited ICT use. This is our present system. And how we are going towards future power system, what we need from future power system, that we want to use more and more RES. So I have seen you this, that the plan for enhancement of RES capacity is more than the fossil fuel plant based capacity in India. So we are going more and more towards the renewable energy to make our system, Indian system, more environmental friendly, and in this way we are making ourselves more energy secure. Energy security is also very, very important, which can be met with the help of RES. Because we are fortunate in India, because if you say in this 370 gigawatt, 100 gigawatt share is coming from solar. And most of the part in our country, 300 days, we are having solar, good quality solar, so that we can use. So in future power system, we are going to use more and more of RES, clean coal technology. We are making, because our Indian coal is not clean. It has a lot of ash content. So we are using a lot of technology to make it clean. Or some private players are buying coal from different countries who are having good quality coal. And of course, nuclear power, which is of course very controversial, but the share of nuclear power in total installed capacity in India is only 2 to 3%. But there are a lot of scope for having more nuclear power capacity in future. In this future power system, the generation is not following the load. Load follows the generation. So that is the very important change which we want to see in future power system. More ICT and smart use, smart meter, and more competition. This is going to become our future power system, which is going towards more smart grid, which is going towards more digitalization. And why do we need to change? The very first question is that because why do you really want to change? The change is because of the new technology, because of the policy, because of the more demanding consumer. So because of this change in technology, policy change, consumer demand, the government is putting a lot of effort in terms of formalizing the policies everywhere in the world and making our electricity sector more and more open to the market forces. This will actually enhance the efficiency of the system. And so that we can, through this, we can take care of our climate change and energy security. So, how this energy new technologies are emerging? The new technologies are emerging in the terms of new smart grid, new technology in terms of storage, distribution, DG, and all this we need to have new business model in terms of more competition so that we can cope up with the new technology. And consumer demand is also changing, which is the another major way why we are changing, because consumer really want to have a freedom. They want to have more freedom in terms of the cost. So they want to have a cheap thing, and cheap thing is only possible in the system when there is more competition. We have seen this in the telecommunication sector, which for us electrical people is seems to be the most ideal infrastructure sector. So they have, now you can see that how mobile is available more than the population of the world. People are having the mobile set, and how cheap it is now. And this is all possible because of the competition. So we emphasize in future that our electricity sector will also become like telecommunication sector, and this will also give freedom to the consumer in the form of retail market, so they can choose their suppliers in future. And why they will choose different supplier? Because they will check where the cheap electricity, good electricity, quality electricity is available. So this actually, all these are, I have just uh, summarized the need for digital grid. So this connected decentralized power system, which are having in future renewable energy, virtual power plants, microgrid, energy storage, along with traditional bulk generation. This actually give a platform for change and going towards digital grid. So this is just a summarization, and this will improve the efficiency. It will improve the reliability. So that's why we want to go for the future digitalization of electricity sector. So basically, in electricity sector, the main thing where the opportunity of the change exists, opportunity of change in the electricity exists in terms of the asset life cycle of the infrastructure, asset which belongs to the distribution sector, asset which belongs to transmission sector, asset which belongs to the distribution sector. Everything need to be changed. And I will see in further slides how we are going to put digitalization into the asset management of the different segments of electricity sector. Also, the opportunity in the electricity sector exists for optimized electricity network flows and various innovation which is customer centered. So these new things are coming up which are motivating us to go to the digitalization. So in a simple term, if we want to express how the digitalization is changing us, then it is changing us from field to the boardroom. So, by sitting in the boardroom, a commercial entity or a CEO can see everything which is happening in the field. So, in this way, he can take a faster decision. He can see that he have a more increased business ability, and he can more visualize the greater prospect in the business. So everything is shown in the figure, which makes us digitalization from field to the boardroom. This is the key for necessary agility and speed of. This will provide greater support to the business strategist to take the decision in a much better way. As far as electricity is concerned, we have a four digital theme in which we need to work in future. What are these four basic themes in electricity sector? One is, as I already mentioned, asset life cycle management. And in this asset life cycle management, we really would like to go for every segment of the value chain, starting from generation, transmission, and distribution. So we need to provide technological solution for the asset of every segment of electricity sector. The second theme for digital creation is the grid optimization and aggregation. What we mean by grid optimization, we know that there is a lot of scope and possibility for grid optimization through real time balancing, through network connectivity, from end to end connected market. So all this is possible of change of grid optimization and aggregation with the help of digital theme. The third pillar for this electricity digital theme is integrated customer service. So, as you all know, that only one way communication, like I am speaking, is a one way communication. Same way, still today, in electricity sector, we are doing one way communication. We are not giving any weightage to the customers. We are not able to give any advantage of this technology to the customer. So to make them empower in future, to make it possible, smart means the very first definition of smart thing is two-way communication. So we are authorizing our customers to be more innovative, digitally enabled, so that they can communicate, they can also control, they can also choose the supplier, and they can also have freedom to control uh, the system. So that is all possible with this digital theme. The fourth one is beyond the electron. So what actually beyond the electron? These are the few terminology which we need to understand. So we what we mean by beyond the electron, that we are not following the conventional system. We can take care of our own electron. We can take care of our electricity without grid, and this gives weightage to the distributed generation. So the hyper personalized connected services, which are beyond the electricity value chain, that adopt to the consumer, is known as a beyond the electron. So in this, electricity moves from being a commodity to the becoming an enterprise. So as we all are aware of the new term prosumer, where the consumer can also become a producer. So that is one example of beyond the electron. I know this transparency is not very clear. It shows the digital theme and initiative across the electricity industry value chain. So I have tried in this to explain that all the value chain, starting from generation to the consumer end, how this four main theme of digitalization in electricity sector, that is asset management, grid optimization, and interconnected customer services, and beyond the electron, are integrated into the electricity value chain. As this is not much more clear, I will go to the second one, which is again explaining the same way, which shows what are the different possible steps for the digital transformation in electricity value chain or electricity system. So in electricity system, we are always interested in, or in any market commodity, we are always interested to talk in terms of demand and supply. And demand and supply is basically the main theme in electricity sector also. So when we talk in the past in India, the main, if anybody asked what is the main major issue in the Indian electricity sector, then he says that the major issue is that there is a huge gap between demand and supply. But now we can very proudly say that in Indian power sector, there is no demand supply gap. We are able to provide electricity to all also and especially the village electrification is completed. And there is one mobile app which is given by Government of India, which shows that how many villages are connected today. So that is a fantastic app. I recommend everyone to see that app, which is available in the Ministry of Power website. So in the demand supply gap in India, there is no demand supply gap nowadays. So we have sufficient electricity. So how this we are going to do the different digital transformation as far as demand is concerned. So earlier in the old system or the present system, our demand is inflexible. Demand response to the mainly we have opened the system in the retailing also, and we have given freedom to the larger consumers, but not to the all. So demand and response is possible in the present modern system to the larger consumer. But this way we are going more towards the aggregators, which is having presently very low share in the demand. How this digital thing is going to change this demand? Demand is going to become an aggregator. Demand is going to become more integrated. Consumer will come into the picture. So in this way, through the digital transformation, our demand will change in future. And similarly, if we talk about the supply is centralized in the present system. It is moving toward more competition. The wholesale competition is existing in India also. And we are going towards the distributed source. Of course, the share is very less presently. But all this transformation with the help of digital, we are going to use a differently supply, because in this supply chain, more vehicle to grid integration will come in future. Blockchain will come into future. I will discuss blockchain in detail further, and decentralized supply will come into picture. So the key message is that the deployment of digital technology is creating a more interconnected and responsive electric system with the potential to help increase flexibility, efficiency, and reliability. That is the main aim. These three terms are the main aim towards going to the digital transformation: flexibility, efficiency, and reliability. So I will show you in the transparency that what are the main element of transformation. The main four element of digital transformation is: very first is a smart demand response. The second is the integration of variable renewable energy sources. Third main pillar of digital technology is the implementation of smart charging for EVs. And the fourth one is emergence of small scale distributed electricity resources such as household solar PV. And I will show you this with help of this figure, that how these four key element of digitalization are shown in the interconnected electricity system. So very first pillar for digitalization is a smart demand response. So you can see with the help of comparison of the demand response potential in the worldwide, which are shown for the year 2015 and 2040. If anybody is aware about IEA, International Energy Association, they have done the projection up to 2040, how the things are changing. So I will recommend that please, if you really want to know what is happening in your sector worldwide, then please go to the IEA website. Yearly, they are publishing one report, World Energy Forum. And this World Energy Forum, at least you should read executive summary to understand what is going on worldwide. So they have projected that the demand response potential will increase by 2040 to the range of 6900 watt hours. So the demand response, which is very, very important, is going to change which is the main pillar for the digitalization. And in the future, we are expecting a huge demand share, demand response. And this demand response, as I told you, that a load follows generation, that is basically a demand response. So that has a lot of potential through the digitalization. The second pillar is the in the system is more and more penetration of renewable energy. It is going to come up, and as we all are aware that no research is presently is possible in the form of MTech or PhD without having component of renewable energy. So this renewable energy is going to have lot of penetration. It is going to change the uh, grid also. It is making our grid more vulnerable, so we need to have a technology so that we can make our grid more and more flexible, because we are expecting a lot of penetration in the world. And why I have mentioned European Union? Because they are pioneer of having the grid integration of renewable energy. And we have seen as a Germany, whole grid has operated 2 3 times only on renewable energy. The third thing which is coming up greatly in the system is EV, electric vehicle. And this electrical vehicle is going to give a more and more way we are going to respond to the demand. For the demand side management, this EV in future is going to give a lot of weightage. And this is because of this EV more and more EV penetration. A lot of research work is going on how we are going to take care of our demand response, how we are going to develop infrastructure to meet future EV demands. A lot of research is going on in this area. And the third one is distributed generation and prosumer. So presently, we can say that very, very small. 2015, they have shown World Energy. This is based on IEA data and projection. So in 2015, they have a very low share of distributed generation and prosumer, but they are projecting that by 2040 this share will increase tremendously. So we by 2040 we will see in our electricity system more share from the distributed generation and more share from the prosumers. So we will expect that, and I also expect in future I will also become a prosumer. I'll also have a solar panel in my rooftop, and I will not only consume or meet my electricity demand, but I may also become a prosumer. I may also sell electricity to the grid in future. So I become a consumer, a new way people are coming up in the business market. And a lot to be done in this area, but that is the future. So from this, the key message comes that the digitalization is set to be greatly enhanced demand flexibility, integration of variable renewables, smart charging for EVs, and distributed generation. All the figures I have taken as a analysis based on IEA, International Energy Association. So, as a first source of distributed generation, I just wanted to share some figure with you that how this is increasingly penetrating more and more in the world, and how it is important to have a distributed generation and digitalization of the distributed generation in the future, because this is going to become a major chunk. As we have seen that 2050 more distributed share will come into picture, more prosumer will come into the picture. So there is a lot of possibility. If anything new is coming and anything new business model we are going to implement, there is a chance to implement the new technology, and the new technology is our digitalization. So this is going to come up in future, and this will actually help us. And I just wanted to share some figure of how much share it is coming up in the distribution system all over the world. So all over the world, the share of distributed generation is increasing, especially in terms of solar PV generation. If we see the compound growth rate, annual growth rate over 40% for the last 15 years, which is reported by the report I have given the reference. In the UK itself, as of March 2019, more than 1 million solar power installation, and 93% of these are 4 kilowatt, smaller one. So that is the report which is based on DECC report in 2019. So you can see that a small country, of course, developed country, but as far as area and population is concerned, I'm sorry I have used small country as a UK, but they have 1 million solar powered installation. Similarly, in California, in United States, the total capacity of solar PV was around 456 megawatt in 2019, while this figure becomes 7160 megawatt in 10 years. So you can see that how sharp we are increasing the share of solar PV or distributed generation into our system. So more than 65% of the solar projects in California are residential, and again more than 65% of the total project are customer oriented. So this gives a lot of opportunity for small scale prosumer to come into the market and face the challenges and earn money also. So increased distributed generation, this will lead to the growing attention how we reduce intermediary cost in the energy trade. So we are going to use a new way of trading because of digitalization, because of the a lot of change in the technology. We are going to give peer-to-peer new different way of energy trading. I will discuss in later what I mean by peer-to-peer trading. But with the peer-to-peer trading, we are able to encourage people to come into more prosumer, and we are increasing share of distributed generation. And peer-to-peer trading, one of the example which we are familiar is the AIRBNB. Those who are going abroad very frequently, they use AIRBNB because this is the facility you are at home. So home-like facility, those who want to cook their food, vegetarian people like us, whenever I'm traveling, I used to prefer AIRBNB so that I can get fully furnished apartment. And this is the one example of peer-to-peer trading. There is nothing. You are just directly connected to the person. Uber is another example of peer-to-peer trading. So we are seeing that this peer-to-peer trading is going to come up in the electricity sector also. So as we in electricity, as an example of digitalization, I just wanted to take the example of digital substation, because as an electrical engineer or as an electronics engineer or as a computer engineer, all of us are aware of digital substation. And as far as the policy of Government of India is concerned, first of all, we are making all of them automated, all substations. So it's mandatory if your substation is more than 135 kV, it is mandatory to have an automation in the substation. Now, through automation, we are going towards digital substation. So earlier substation, all of you are aware. Now, how to make the substation digital? So how this digital concept will come into the substation. So in this figure, you can see that you are familiar with the substation, which is having transformer and transformer with the electronic control, monitoring, and diagnosis, because it is automated system. And we are having CTs and PT. We are having all conventional instruments which supports our power system, capacitor bank, and we are having circuit breakers, all process bus through which we are doing communication, and we are automated through SCADA. So we are having a control room which includes all automation, production, and controls. And as far as standard is concerned, this all digital substation, IEEE has given the one IEC 61850, protocol to follow for digital substation. So we want to change this station with the help of digitalization to a new digital substation where we are replacing all the conventional. If you see the first figure, everything is connected through copper cable in a conventional substation. We are replacing this copper signaling wires by the fiber optical. So you can see in the second one, very clean because everything is connected to the fiber optic substitute. So the very first steps towards the digital substation is to replace all the conventional copper signaling wire through the fiber optics wire. So, what are the different benefits over the digital substation? It will improve the safety, it will reduce the substation footprints. Interoperability is possible when we are going digital, reduce copper cabling, ease of configuration, real-time performance measurement, reliability is improved. Smart grid communication capability exists because of digital substation, and of course, reduced cost of ownership. So, digital substation are safer to operate, future-proof, and require less space. So, in this way, hopefully, in the future, we are going to follow the IEC 61850 protocol to make all our existing substation to become a digital substation. So, as I already mentioned, the advantage of digital substation, the same thing is repeated here. So, I'll not go into the go into the detail. This digital solution also change our the way we are communicating. So, power line carrier communication, which is the way we communicate in electricity sector, is going to change through the different communication protocol with the help of fiber optical cable. The major things which are going to change, I have mentioned earlier that the asset performance, asset of all the value chain of distribution, generation, and transmission are going to change. And this asset performance management is very, very important for utility. And this actually, through the asset management only, we are going towards the privatization. If my electricity utility would like to sell themselves, then they need to assess. And those who want to buy my utility, they also need to assess my asset. And this is very important. So, asset performance management is going to change with the help of digitalization. And this is very, very important for electricity segment. And what are the different changes which are there when we are changing our asset to the digitalization? That is also mentioned in this transparency. So this figure, a transformer is shown. So we want to make our this transformer, which is a major workforce in electricity sector, into digital form. So digital workforce is going to change all these equipments which are used in power system to become more and more digital. So I am going to change my all asset for the digital thing. So I have to make a route note for every equipment which are used in electricity sector for all segment of electricity sector so that I can make them digitalized and then I can make them manageable. So there is a number of increase in asset with fixed operation and maintenance budget. Of course, all of them needs a lot of budgeting and refurbishment for this all technology. So I'll not go into the detail because I have to cover many things already 1 hour. So sorry, where it has gone.